Hi, my name is Michael Ruescher, and I'm sitting here with Dan Dykwel at the Tesla Motors Chamber of Commerce 100 years Centennial celebration.
Correct.
And we just saw a series of speakers announce the fact that Palo Alto and the Chamber of Commerce have been making business happen here for 100 years successfully, and they're looking forward to another 100. So first off, I'd like to ask Dan, what is your connection with the Chamber?
Well, I'm currently the chair of the board of directors, so my role is to guide the board in determining what priorities we want our president and CEO to follow, and give direction to the chamber itself. I sell real estate, residential real estate in Palo Alto, and have been in the community about 20 years. And this is my second year on the chamber and first year as the president of the board. And I'm delighted. It's a lot of work, but I'm really delighted to be doing that.
Wow, so you have a really interesting perspective in that you're working with a lot of different stakeholders as the board, and the chamber. Its purpose is to help businesses succeed.
Correct.
In Palo Alto. So what are some of the activities that consists of?
Well, first of all, I just want to mention that our members include everyone from the sole proprietor to Hewlett Packard with its hundreds of thousands of members or employees, and everything in between. So we have a vast variety of manufacturing, retail, hospitality, research, the hospitals, Stanford hospitals, the university, a really broad spectrum. So it's a real challenge to try and address the needs of all those individual people as they conduct their business. The chamber really is a function of what its members want it to be, and so part of our job is to really understand what it is they want and what they need. We have a number of programs that we use to try and achieve that. It's everything from ribbon cuttings to welcome new businesses to town, to monthly chamber mixers where people can network. We have individual business referral networks where people get together, share ideas, marketing ideas, pass referrals back and forth. We host the individual appointments for SCORE, which is an organization that has 360 branches throughout the nation where retired professionals offer their consultative services to people that are trying to start businesses or improve their businesses. We have EPIC, which is Emerging Professionals in Commerce. This is pretty much the under 35 age group people.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, and we're really excited about them because it's very important to engage the upcoming young professionals, get them involved in the community and the chamber itself, help them network, help them understand some of the potential for leadership opportunities that they could have. So we're very excited to be working with them.
Well, I want to share that I'm very appreciative of that because I've been in school my whole life, and I don't have much of a sense, sort of a business sense of things. And I've noticed that working with Carol and
Carol Harrington.
Karen Harrington, absolutely. Okay, I got to remember who our audience is here.
Right.
And that the chamber has been accommodating, and for the Festival of the Arts,
Sure.
They invited me to join them and learn of their activities and participate.
Sure.
And so I think that's really great and also very important because when I see my generation, I see a lot of people who maybe haven't had the opportunity or exposure to this side of life. So
well, you just haven't had the opportunity. So what the chamber wants to do, we're very all embracing, and we want to give opportunities and listen to the needs of all people who are engaged in business. That's our role. That's our charter. And our members drive what our priorities should be. So we're excited to really give more focus to that whole segment because it is so important in our economy.
So you mentioned earlier that there's almost seems to me almost ritual involved here. You have the monthly meetings and you have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and I think this ceremony in itself there's sort of a symbolic nature to it. And for example, we're here at Tesla Motors. Is
Sure.
that is there a reason that this was the choice of?
Well, Tesla is a new member since they just moved into this facility here in Palo Alto. And we're very excited to have them as members. And of course, they represent the emerging technologies, especially in the green revolution, if you will, the environmental industries. And so we thought this would be a terrific opportunity to contrast our 100 years of existence from 1910 with the future. And Tesla really is one of the important representatives of the futures in terms of energy and transportation. So we're very excited to be here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think anyone who hears about Tesla gets excited. And
Sure.
when sees them driving down the road gets excited. So
Oh, sure.
It's great that it's happening here in Palo Alto, and that this is something. This is a chance to interface with the community as well. And that I also think that schools as well. I mean, I hear that they go out to Stanford, and I don't know if they participate with the high schools, but I feel like this is to me an area of opportunity is to connect the different communities together.
Sure.
And it seems like
Sure, and of course, they're very hot at the moment, so everyone is after Tesla to speak to them or to provide opportunities to ride the vehicles. So we're very fortunate that we were able to secure this location, and it's just a terrific event tonight, the Centennial. We had about 300 or more people attending, and it was a great event. We're delighted with that.
So you mentioned the green revolution, and I find that I studied environmental studies in college. So to me, that's maybe I have a bias towards it, but that's to me the most important thing is to start, figuring out how we're going to interface going forward with resources and environmental concerns in terms of pollution, climate change, this sort of thing. And besides Tesla Motors, are there any other businesses you see formulating in this direction in Palo Alto?
Well, I don't have a list, but there are a number of those in nanotechnology and environmental sciences, et cetera, who are either in Palo Alto currently doing work or being courted by the city. The city's been very aggressive in its environmental policies, both in terms of its own operations and in soliciting those industries that pretty much match the values of Palo Alto, which very much slant towards environmental stewardship, if you will. So Tesla is, of course, a very big example of that. There will be more to come, I'm sure. They will be a draw for other companies. And again, the city is working, and the chamber, in concert with the city, is trying to encourage that and promote that and do everything we can to make those connections between those industries and the city.
Is this sort of, maybe this is a silly question, but is this more for, is there more of a short-term gain, or is this more of a long-term vision in terms of how this benefits the city?
Oh, I think clearly it has reached the point where it's pretty much the value system of the city and the long-term objectives. So when you solicit businesses or you encourage them to come to your town, there are a number of factors involved, of course, but I don't know how specific necessarily the city is in their selection process, but this is such a magnet for companies that I think there's little shortage of selection. You have, of course, the university, Stanford University, which draws a lot of people. You have tremendous research facilities, brain power. People stay in the area because of the opportunities in the green industries. And to say it's a revolution almost is a little passé, because it's become almost the norm for us rather than something that's that's evolving. It's just become the norm for Palo Alto to make this a consideration as we go forward.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, as this sort of, as you say, it's a magnet, and as this begins to, I mean, if you look and you drive around Palo Alto, you see probably a higher percentage of Priuses per capita that's unmatched or rarely matched anywhere in the world, and it'll be interesting to see if if this trend actually continues, and it will actually accelerate, and it will actually, start to differentiate itself further, or if it more spreads sideways.
Well, there's at least one more business coming to town, a dealership that will be offering an electric vehicle that I know of. So I think, as I said, this is going to become just a way of life for us in Palo Alto, and your comment about the Prius is really interesting, because I have a friend in Oregon who bought one and of course paid a premium, and we were talking about it, and I said, oh my gosh, we have so many in Palo Alto that they offer discounts on them. There are so many on the lot, and so many people buy them, which is interesting. But again, it's between the city and the businesses and the environment, the business environment that's here that encourages it. You will see more and more companies coming to this accepting community to open businesses that serve the environmental needs.
Well, one thing, maybe this is a bit of a closing note, and this was really heartening to me, is Carol Harrington was telling me, she's been very concerned, and I think she started this. Is it called Palo Alto Business Goes Green? That's
correct. Yes. Carol is the chair of our Palo Alto Business Goes Green arm of the chamber. And
I work with Michael Kalin on Painting That Changed the World, and we had a guest one night, Susan Frank, who is campaigning to unite the business community in California to basically implement AB 32, California's Climate Protection Act, effectively. And I heard that, for one, that she gave a presentation at the chamber, and then I guess later it came to vote what the chamber's stance was, and I heard that the position was unanimously against the SB 32, more or less, I think.
No, let me correct that. AB 32 is already law.
No, but SB 23, sorry. I always get them switched
23. We were one of two chambers in the Santa Clara County Coalition of Chambers who voted against endorsing SB 23, Senate Bill 23, because it would overturn the provisions of Assembly Bill 32.
Right.
And this is an area that is rich in companies who are devoted to the green technologies, and it is important for Palo Alto to represent the Palo Alto Chamber of Commerce to represent those interests. So you are correct in that we voted against the mainstream in Santa Clara County, saying, no, we do not endorse that bill. We want to retain the provisions of AB 32.
Yeah, I find that great that there's that support between chambers and the community at large.
Right, exactly.
Great.
Exactly. And it's important because one of the aspects of the chamber is to meet with other chambers within the county, share ideas, and give extra voice to business needs. But in this particular case, we had to represent our local needs on that and say, this is what's best for the companies in Palo Alto.
Well, I think it goes right back to that symbolism. Is it's you have all these disparate groups, and this can sort of represent a united voice. So it's great.
All right.
Thanks for sharing, Dan.
My pleasure. Thank you, my friend.